Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Taking the Lead. I think this is our second live cast with me solo, and I'm so appreciative that you're all here. Really am. So let's talk about what we're going to talk about. As I think you know, we're going to share some brief thoughts about two seemingly disparate topics, but they're not so disparate. One are critical steps I believe leaders must take right now to elevate their leadership. And the other, and the second one is a little bit more for PR and marketing and communications agency owners and leaders, which many of you are, I'm sure, and that's leading the agency business development initiative, writing the new biz plan, if you will. Now, elevating leadership, leading the agency biz dev initiative, again, may seem desperate, but I think they have something very big in common. And that's they're related to the jobs that you and only you as leaders must do, must lead. Now, I'm all for, rolling up your sleeves and jumping in with your team when need be. Hello, LinkedIn user. I don't know your name, but I certainly know Denise Skatena. Thank you for joining us. Um, but they're jobs that you must do, must lead, and that's what brings them together. So let's start with the first critical steps leaders must take to elevate their leadership right now. And I picked those words kind of carefully. Critical, because I believe they are absolutely critical, essential, vital, crucial, if you will, to having inspired, loyal followers. Take, because taking a step, that's an action. We're big believers in taking action. And now, because leadership is about doing, about pushing the button, about getting started, about not deliberating, trusting one's gut right now. So, critical steps leaders must take right now. And I need to say hello to James Coppenall, and I need to say hello to Cherry DeMall, my dear old friend. We won't say for how many years ago that we shared an office, Cherry, shall we? Anyway, um, so let's start with the critical leadership steps. Number one, it is about earning the trust of your people, standing by them. And please never assume that you're trusted because of your title or because your name is on the agency door or the paycheck or the organizational chart. Like the great American actor and director John Houseman said decades ago, you have to earn trust. That's a very bad imitation, but I hope you enjoyed it. So you've got to stand by your people. They've got to know you will never, ever throw them under the bus. Next, to trust them back. As an energy leadership coach, I know that energy, mindset, everything is reciprocal. Everything is contagious. Can we still say contagious? So you need to trust them back. It's got to be mutual. Third is to give respect. I always say RESPECT. Aretha, the Queen of Soul, was so right. We've got to provide respect to everyone on your team all the time, no matter the situation. The third is to customize your leadership style. It is not enough to have your own leadership inspiration style. That's the core where you start, right? But then in my view, have to be willing to modify it, to make it bespoke, to customize it like a beautiful suit from Hong Kong or London or Rome for everyone you lead. Whether you're leading two people or six or eight, if you're leading more than that, we have to talk about, putting in some structure for you. Related to leadership is knowing thyself, knowing who you are as a leader. And that means getting leadership feedback performance from everyone on your team. And it can be tough to hear and tough to get. It's a gift. It's the wisdom that allows you to be a more effective leader. The idea of not just delegating, but empowering, but empowering. You've We often resist delegation. The best way to get over that is not to think about what you're giving away, because if you're giving away the lowest 10% of your job, you're giving away things you're good at, you enjoy, that are fun, that are easy, that got you to where you are today. But what got you to where you are today isn't going to get you to where you need to be. So you've got to think about all the things you could do if you would delegate and empower. And that's generally enough to get you going. Appreciating your team's value, knowing how to say thank you the right way. I have a definite approach of how to say thank you the right way, a way that just allows you to say thank you again and again and again. And there's no limit to how often you can say thank you or the effect it has on your team members' engagement, motivation, inspiration, and loyalty. Loyalty to your organization and loyalty to you. And in an era of disengagement, we've had 2 years of employee disengagement. That's an important one for you to work on. Take risks, be willing to fail, take educated risks. We all talk about wanting our team to take more risks, educated risks. Well, model and inspire the behavior you desire. Take more educated risks yourself. I see I've got a buddy from PRSA Counselors Academy, but I don't see your name, but I'm glad you're here. Anyway, you'll note all these things are your job as a leader. And if you're second in command, leader in training, these are very important things to work on. But it's so important that you do it, because if you don't do it, who is? So I just want to share, I will be speaking and providing much more detail on these critical leadership actions at PRSA Western District Conference in Tucson. We might have some people tuning in today who are going to be at the conference. And if you're attending, I hope you'll attend my session on Thursday, April 27th. I want to say 2 p.m. Tucson time. Anyway, if you're struggling with any of these, or you simply want to be great at them, please contact me at ken@jacobscomm.com. We'll do a complimentary session. You may be surprised at how much progress you can make if we work together for 45 minutes on these. So let me give a shout out to my dear friend Ellen Lanica Albanese. It is great to have you on this call. And now we're going to shift to the second topic that might appear disparate. I don't really think it is. And because it's something you as a leader must own and lead others in, and that's the agency biz dev initiative, the agency new business plan. Call it what you want. Call it the sales plan. Call it, whatever you want to do. But it starts with writing the plan. You got to start by writing it. And I've met with agency leaders and PR leaders. Oh, it's all in my head. Okay, that's nuts. You've got to start with writing it. So first you think about, how much do we want to make either by the end of this year or maybe by June 2024? What kind of work do we want to do? What are the service areas in which we want to work? And that's going to be dependent on, where you're truly expert, as well as where you see the marketplace. I recommend to you do more and more work for which you'll get paid a premium. That's going to help you on the top line and the bottom line. So you look at the service areas, the practice areas that are growing and where they'll need you. Then I would also look at, what are the industry segments in which we're truly expert and, like the service areas, are growing. If you look back to June of 2020, boy, the brick and mortar retail folks, they needed you. They couldn't pay you. The travel industry needed you, but they couldn't pay you. So you might as well be targeting industry segments that are growing, that have money, that will pay you a premium, and that will allow you to make your top line and bottom line goals. And then I'd also take a step back and say, what are the industry segments and the client the client practice areas that help us achieve our agency vision. And that is another thing that the agency owner or CEO or senior most leader must own. What is that agency vision? And using that biz dev plan to achieve that vision. And that's not about what comes in over the transom, because the prospective clients that come to you or that even are referred to you, references are certainly valuable. Who do we really want to create a relationship with? Who will allow us to achieve those top line and bottom line goals? Sometimes we get very well-meaning referrals from clients, but they don't know what we're trying to achieve. So we want to do a very small, non-ambitious line item for things that will come in over the transom. Now, many times I speak to agency owners and they say, well, Ken, I had a good year. And I said, well, how would it feel to have a consistently great year? That means having a biz dev plan. Sometimes they say, well, we got some incoming, but how much of it helped you achieve your vision? So it's not about what comes in over the transom. It is about what you'll pursue to achieve all those things we just talked about. So I just wanted to share. I'll be discussing the above at the PRSA Counselors Academy Spring Conference in New Orleans. I'll be discussing it at the pre-con Monday, May 8th. If you're coming to Counselors Academy Spring Conference and you haven't before, that pre-con is free for you. Or if you're returning or you're just not coming to the pre-con, I'll be talking about this on Tuesday the 9th in our own segment. So if you're attending and this is a key development area for you, I hope I'll see you there. And, if you're struggling with writing your biz dev plan, struggling with implementing it, or just want to be consistently great at it, again, please reach out to me, KEN at jacobscomm.com. And we'll do a complimentary 45-minute session. And again, you may be surprised at how much we can achieve in just a 45-minute session. So I hope to hear from you. We're going to take some questions now, if people have some questions. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. You can always reach out to me with your questions, with your comments on our time today. Again, that is KEN at JACOBS. What's my email address? KEN at JACOBSCOMM.com. I think I should know that by now, but please reach out to me. We are happy to have the complimentary sessions. Again, whether about critical leadership steps you must take today to elevate your leadership performance and build followership, loyal followership, engagement. Would I please repeat the offer? Yes, I would. So number one, if you're struggling with any of the topics we discussed, critical leadership steps you want to take, or you're not struggling, it's not always a struggling, but sometimes you want to go from good to great, or good to consistently good, or good to consistently great, we will offer you a 45-minute complimentary session around that. We'll do some coaching. I'm not going to give you the email address again because I think I might mess it up. Or if you're having trouble putting together your agency business development plan, either you're struggling, you're having trouble getting started, you're having trouble finishing it, you're having trouble implementing it, reach out to me and we're happy to do a complimentary session. And if you want to do better at it, we can do that. And here's something else. If you want to grow in either of these so-called disparate areas, we'll do 2 separate complimentary sessions. How's that for an offer? Very happy to offer that to you. So I hope that explains that. Cherry, how can one be a leader in one's community? Wow, what a thought-provoking question. I think part of it is about sharing your wisdom, freely with no thought of return or getting anything back. I think if you know your both your prospects, if you know your clients, and you know your community, and you authentically believe that you have some wisdom to share, get out there and share it. I don't know if he's on today, but I want to give a tip of the hat. Mike Lasky at Davis and Gilbert, one of the top attorneys for the communications practice. And I used to see him at the aforementioned Counselors Academy years and years, giving so much information away about legal items you needed to know, and protections and clauses and everything else, and contracts. And I thought, why is he giving it away? But in full candor, when I needed an attorney, he was the guy I went to, because I had learned so much from him over the years. So I think it's a good biz dev practice, but I know it's also the right thing to do. So I encourage everyone more and more, get out there in the channel of your choice, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's your Facebook business page. Have live streams like this. Why not? They're a lot more fun than you might imagine. There's a little nervousness before, as you can imagine, but they are tremendous fun. And I would encourage you to do that as well. We can take any questions that would help you or help the other people on the live cast. Okay. Nice comment from J.R. Hipple. Thank you, sir. You're not so bad yourself. Back at you, Slick, as we like to say. But JR isn't Mike inspiring the way he always shared his leadership at this conference, and JR, as you always did as well. So okay, I'm going to assume we have no other questions. We're going to say going what? Here we go. Any suggestions on how to get into an area that you previously have not worked in, but's interesting to you now? That is kind of a tough one. So let me go deeper. Great. And that's from Ellen Lanica Albanese. I think when you put together what are we going to target and pursue, it's really important that you have true expertise in it, that you know more than your client, because I think it's expertise that wins the sale, that wins the new biz. So I think you've got to be able to be a true expert. You've got to back it up with case studies. You've got to have raving clients who will rave and say great things about you to your prospects, because your clients have more credibility about you than you do. So it's very important that you're truly expert. It's very important that you look at the fiscal side. These are categories that are growing and that will pay me well. I do think it's important to also consider what are you passionate about, or what is your team passionate about? And you've got to bring all three. You've got to find that sweet spot of what you'll pursue. It's got to be a combination of that. But my instinct is, if you just want to pursue it, but you haven't done it and you don't have expertise, I would pursue the other areas first. I think you can go into them after. But I think if you're building a business, you got to start, you got to start with some money. Oh, there's a LinkedIn user who wants to have a beverage with me and NOLA, and I want to have a beverage with you and NOLA, but I don't know who it is. So reach out on email. So many things I want to answer. If I don't get to your answer today, your question today, please reach out to me on email. You know where to find me. Leadership book recommendations. I'm three come to mind, and thank you, Megan, for that question. Number one, it's either tell less or say less, ask more, and change the way you lead forever by Michael Bungay Stanier. He's a fellow coach. I'm not in his league, but I love his book. It's, oh my God, it's Jason Mudd. Jason, we'll have a drink. Thank you. Yes. Um, but it gives you the ability that when your people come in with questions and they want you to play mom and dad, aunt or uncle, grandma, grandpa, it's the questions you ask them to allow them to go out back to their office and start to figure things out, engage this problem solving muscle called the brain. Yes, I know the brain is not a muscle. So say less or tell less, ask more, change the way you lead forever. I also recommend everyone take Emotional Intelligence version 2.0, EI version 2.0 by Bradbury and Greaves, Greaves. Taking your emotional intelligence, doing better at emotional intelligence is a huge value for leaders today. I've also loved Leading Up. I want to say by Michael Usay. I may have his name a little wrong, but it is all examples from the military and the boardroom and history about leading up. So when you're leading, it's not just leading down and leading your teams, but leading your peers, leading your board or your nonprofit group if you're active in a PRSA board like I am, and leading up to your boss. So I want to say Michael Usay, but reach out to me. I'll find that name and I will correct it. But those 3 reads, very good reads, I think. Another question, what are platforms and tools do you suggest for digital outreach? Hi, Laura Jensen. With targeting email, I'll admit I use ActiveCampaign. When many of you come to my website, it asks permission. Like if you're going to download one of our leadership ebooks, et cetera, it encourages you to share your email with me and give me permission. And then we've built a list with permission, always with permission. I hope I don't email anyone without their permission. And then, for example, when we have a new Taking the Lead interview, as many of you are aware of, we interview some of the brightest, most respected leaders in PR and marketing, not about PR and marketing, but about leadership. And when you sign up for that, you get a preview of that a week before the rest of the world. So I encourage anyone here, if you haven't visited our website, www.jacobs.com, right? JACOBSCOMM.com. I'm losing it today, folks, but enjoying the company, enjoying the time. Please sign up and you will get that preview early. And then Megan, who we mentioned, loves using Hootsuite to share our social media posts. So, and here's the other thing. I don't want to embarrass you, Megan, but get a great social media associate. I don't think of Megan as a VA. She is my social media associate, and she has changed my world. Get a good one like I did with Megan. And Megan, I don't know if you're looking for more clients, but any of you reach out to Megan Breckenridge. Yeah, and Margie, yes, never email without permission. I just think, you might say we met at a conference. Would you like to connect? Things like that. If it's building the engagement and building a sense of community and saying, can I help you in some way? But other than that, I believe we should ask permission. Thank you, Alicia. I'm glad you agree. Hootsuite is useful and great. I want to look up and see if we got other questions that live platforms to restart career. Thank you for that good question, Amy. I think for professionals like all of us, in the past, I used Twitter. I've been hanging back a bit for a while. We're going to see how that all plays out. I do use Facebook Business, and I know some of you are watching this on Facebook. But for me, LinkedIn is where it is at for professionals. LinkedIn is the networking place for professionals, I believe, to search for jobs, to post jobs, to find like-minded people to share and to build your community. So I would say LinkedIn. LinkedIn. It says we have new comments. Let's see. And oh, I saw it. Where did it go? Where did it go? Deborah Masters, hello. Recognizing and motivating exhausting teams. Yeah, it's not just about financial incentives. This is from Deborah Masters. Thank you for that great question. Again, this is the age of disengagement. And for many in that, Jen, it's about much more than money. It's about, if I could sum it up, purpose. You know, we used to talk about vision, but I think in the last few years, that's been replaced by purpose. People are really living their purpose, especially millennials, especially Gen Z. And some of you are managing and leading our millennials, of course, by now. But Gen Z is our big population of practitioners, of doers, and they have a sense of purpose. They want to know that their organization has a sense of purpose. They want to know their leader has a sense of purpose. And it doesn't have to align completely, but they are looking for shared purpose in many ways. So if you're looking, Deborah, to get people engaged more and more, and for right now, you can't do financial incentives. Here's my assignment for you. My I don't call it homework, but home play. What is the purpose of your organization? What is your purpose as a leader? And for the people you lead, what is their sense of purpose? And how can you bring that together more and more and more? And if you don't know their sense of purpose for each person you lead, and this is part of that bespoke, customized leadership style for everyone on your team, that's a good action to take. Find out, think about what is their sense of purpose, and let's have some dialogue with your people. Believe me, this generation does want to talk about that, and I would think they will be very open to you if you inquire about that. So that would be my advice. Oh, Cherry, thank you for practicing what you preach. You know, at a certain point, you got to practice what you preach. If you're leading others, you're leading yourself, you're leading your community. You got to be authentic. And, you know, I made a few missteps today and got my email address wrong and all that stuff. And I think you were all very forgiving and enjoyed it a bit. And, you know, I always say the work we do is important. The work all of you do is so important, and take it seriously. But let's not take ourselves too seriously. Let's enjoy. I mean, we're only in this life once. My God, let's not wait till retirement or pre-retirement to start enjoying ourselves. Let's enjoy our work. Let's enjoy our friends. Let's enjoy our community. So I think we've been at it for around 30 minutes. And every time I say, oh, no more questions, we get more questions. So I think if we have one more question, we'll be good. We're open to it. I'm not seeing any questions. So should we wrap it up? Amen. Enjoy every day. Agreed. Yeah, good. Thank you so much. And thanks for agreeing on LinkedIn. And that's, oh my gosh, if you haven't found me on LinkedIn, well, you must have, right? Because you got my notification on LinkedIn. But just in case we're not yet connected there, please connect. Just there are a lot of Ken Jacobs. I'm the one with some initials after my name. And Jacobs Consulting and Executive Coaching. And if you reach out to me and we're not yet connected and you mentioned you were here today, I will absolutely, positively accept your LinkedIn. And I encourage you to find us on Facebook as well. Thank you for your nice comments. I'm glad you loved it. There's someone behind the scenes today who's going to say to me, Ken, we're going to make you go live more and more. You know who you are. And she might have the same last name as Megan. All right. So thank you, Laura. I hope our paths will cross. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your comments. And I think it's time for me to end the broadcast. Give me a little thumbs up if it's time to end the broadcast. Yes, I got a thumbs up. All right, we'll see you next time. And as we always say, till next time, keep on taking the lead. Thank you.